Off the new logo.
Well, every time we do this, there's more and more people in the room. It's awesome. 7-0, Big 12 play for the first time ever. First ranked Big 12 win in program history. We've got head coach Mark Campbell here after tonight's win over Utah. We'll let him give an opening statement and take any questions you guys have.
Well, first of all, what just an awesome game, awesome environment against a really good team and a really good program. Thankful for everybody that showed up, and the student section was awesome again. But our team, man, that was 40 minutes of high-level basketball. And in the first half, I thought our defense was elite. And it's always tricky once you get to the second half because in the first half, your staff gets to help kind of talk them through the actions and what's unfolding. You kind of stay a step ahead, and then the second half, they're on the other end. And so they're kind of on an island out there. So give Utah credit for playing a great second half. But I thought Haley did an incredible job all game, creating for us, playing in on balls. I thought she was in a really good rhythm. But that was an overall team effort. And you guys, that was a big one. You got to take care of home court in the Big 12. You have to if you want to have a chance at the end to compete for a title. And so glad we got that done.
They cut it to, I think, 6 and late in the full court. I guess how fitting was it that it was the big three that scored the next? They went on that 6-0 run and kind of put the game away for you guys.
Yep, that's what they do. Yep, Haley, Madison, Sedona, they're built for it. They want it. If you see all their preparation, that's what we need them to do. And at the end of the day, we go as far as those three take us. And so in all the actions, different things, we put them in those positions so they have the opportunity to do that.
I've seen a little bit of Aaliyah in the backcourt, kind of working alongside to bring the ball up. What has that adjustment kind of opened up for you guys? Yeah,
our forward takes the ball out of bounds, so they're organically back there as a safety. But she's so versatile. You got her, Agnes, and Bigby that all play the 4 for us, and all of them, against Texas Tech, Taylor Bigby was kind of playing a pseudo point guard for us because they were trapping the point guard. So the versatility of this group is what makes it really special and really hard to guard.
You were pretty critical of your defense after the UCF game. How good was it to see them come out locked in the first half tonight?
It was. First of all, Mignon had the scout, and she had this thing nailed. I think they're the best 5-out motion offense in our Big 12. They have so many kids that make plays for each other. They're so unselfish. They're hard to guard. And so we had to have an incredible effort. And this group, though, because they're so old, they've played in high-level games. You guys, they live for this game. They live for the big moments. Sometimes they take their foot off the gas pedal. And that first half showed you what we're capable of. I was just joking. We still haven't put together 40 minutes of it. So we still got a lot of room for growth. But that first half, that defensive effort against this team was special.
Best ranked opponent in over a month. What has this team shown you in that time frame from that game?
Man, they show up. They really do. I think this is the second top 25 Big 12 matchup ever at the Schollmeyer for women's basketball, if I got that right. And so these games, there hasn't been many showdowns like this. And we had NC State here early on. You got to play Notre Dame on a neutral court. You got South Carolina on a neutral court, and so our kids were juiced. You should have seen our shoot-around. The focus they had, they were ready for this moment and this stretch that's unfolding. But that's what happens when you have an old veteran group.
You mentioned the stretch that's unfolding. You go on the road now to an Oklahoma State team that's looking really good. You've already got 3 road games in your back pocket. What have you learned about your team in those 3 road games that you can take into this Wednesday game?
Similar. The road forces you to be completely locked in. You don't have the momentum. You don't have the crowd. It's just your little village. And we've stolen 3 road games already, I believe. Now you're going to Oklahoma State. It's a top 25 team. It's another really talented offense. We got to hang our hat on the defensive end there. Tell you what, this group's been able to score at a high level against everybody, and they're hard to slow down the way we share the ball. We had 17 assists again tonight. But to go down this Stillwater, it's going to be an absolute fight. But this defensive effort tonight, I after Central Florida, you were nervous. You're like, oh, geez. But they bounce back. They'll show up on Wednesday night.
Big night for you guys, obviously, tonight, but it's been a big week for women's basketball. You get the unit shares as part of the women's tournament, and then Unrivaled kicks off tonight, which is another just money-making opportunity for female athletes. You look at where women's basketball is today and what's coming, how does that make you feel running a program?
Yeah, women's basketball has been a rocket ship over the last couple years. The Unrivaled is this incredible league that popped up that's really well funded, and I think that it was on TNT tonight. You guys, we had the Ella moment that went viral earlier this week, and Coach Staley ended up getting a groundbreaking contract. But women's basketball, the NCAA tournament where we finally get the shares like the men's NCAA tournament, it just shows you when you invest in women's sports, it's given back, and it's exploded, literally. And so one of the neatest things that we've talked about before, but Sedona changed the whole narrative, at the NCAA tournament, the differences between how the men's and women's were ran. And since then, it's done nothing but go up. I believe last year's Final Four outdrew the men. So it's pretty cool. It's a special time to be involved in women's basketball, women's athletics.
Coach Peterson mentioned about the schedule being not allowing teams to get into a rhythm. Is that anything that you're concerned about going forward, at least?
How they changed the days of the game and different things, no doubt. It is what it is. There's a benefit of getting to have TV games. The men have been doing it like that for years. And at the end of the day, if you want exposure, if you want TV, you got to be willing to play in the days and the slots that fit. And so I'm all for it. I don't care what day we play or who we play. If it brings exposure to women's basketball, let's rock and roll. And so it's one of those things I think you got to get used to it. It is the norm. It's becoming the norm. This whole week, our league basically had a game every night, which is great exposure for us, and it is what it is. And so, yeah, I'm all for whatever we got to do to make sure there's a spotlight on our league, our conference. We'll play any day of the week.
You've talked about Donovan Hunter's defense and her facilitation. The last two games, I think she's shooting 67% from three-point range, as well as that aspect of her game grows. Just how big of an impact can she have?
Donovan has a limitless ceiling of her potential. She is a quiet, humble kid that wants nothing to do but help the team win. And she has been working so hard behind the scenes on her shot, watching film, growing as a basketball player. I literally mean there is not a more humble spirit and a competitive spirit that I've ever coached. And so Donald's just scratching the surface. She's playing a huge role for us on a top 10 team in the country. And candidly, Donald's our best defensive player. And so while she does that, she's also helping us, and she's figuring out the offensive side of the ball. And as you navigate a season, right, Haley has emerged as a ball-dominant playmaking kid. And so Donald's had to learn to play with her and off of her. And so that's a process too. And so, as you put the pieces of the puzzle together, you got to figure out how to make it all work. And so Donald's been incredible. She's done everything she's asked and more, and we're going to need her over this stretch at a high level.
Any final questions for Coach? All right, we got a big one next Sunday against Baylor. We'll see you guys then.
Thanks for coming, you guys. Appreciate it.